Alright, you bastards, this is Some-Belgian-prepper, and today I want to talk about something that is actually kind of unusual to talk about uh, in the proper way, but it's about sleep positions during survival situations, and how they could be handy. But before we do that, if you're interested in detective stories, I wrote the first part of an 11-part series called Bloody Crosses. It's in Dutch if you're interested. The link will be down in the description. So I've been experimenting with sleeping positions lately, and why do I do this? It's because like I said before in some videos, I always try to look how did people do things in history, in other places, whether it's like I said in history or now. How do people do things different that have less and are in worse situations? And one of those things I always wondered was how do they sleep, and not in a way from on what time they go to sleep or what are the habits. I'm talking about more like how do they sleep in the positions with less, like a lot of people in third world countries or in Asian countries, they sleep on a different way. They don't have a cozy bed, a mattress, and that's something always that I've wondering that uh, I hear a lot of people complain that they don't get a good night of sleep. Their mattress is not good, or this and that, and all, and or I slept in the wrong way, and now my neck and my back hurts. I've always wondered how do people who live in less in situations that have a lesser standard, how do they do it? And I've been looking up and I found some interesting techniques, not techniques, but positions to sleep in with less. So imagine you only have a blanket, and where would you use these kind of positions? Well, there are several benefits to it. Let's look into history, like where did people had to sleep in just on the floor while they're waiting for evacuations, or during a survival situation, like people during the Blitz in London who hide in the underground, and they could not take field beds or mattresses or sleeping bags. They just had to run out of their house with usually only their coat, the clothes on, and they had to sleep for many hours in the underground on a cold hard floor. So and there are many other instances where this could happen. It could also be happening in just daily life. You missed your train, you have to sleep in the station a few hours, or you're in a terminal and a lot of people are stranded because the plane did not move and all the seats are some people don't like to still sleep in a seat, so how could you sleep on the ground in a comfortable way that is biologically applicable towards the human body? So one of those things is there are several sleeping patterns, because one of the things that most people would do, they would just lay down with their heads on the ground and sleep like that. But I've heard a lot of people complain in this thing that it does not feel good towards their head. It's not soft, it's very hard. Every time you move, you have the problem that it hurts your back of your head. More of your body will get all to the cold. Yeah, especially when you just sleeping flat like this, could be you will absorb a lot of cold from the ground. Every single movement will hurt the back of your head, and it's just uncomfortable. And for a lot of people, their back is in a weird arc like this, so that's not really comfortable to sleep for a long time during a waiting time or a survival situation. So how do a lot of people sleep? Actually, they sleep in some positions like this. They just lay on their side. It's like a first aid, the stable position. You put your feet and your legs across each other like this. And why is this? This is so you are more stable on the lower part of the body, and you use your arm as a pillow. You put your hands under your cheek so your head does not roll away, and it's also handy. Why is this a good sleeping position? Well, first of all, you have less surface of your body because you're on your sideways and your legs are crossed. You will have less problems with cold from the ground getting into your body. There's less body surface where the cold could draw your body heat out of. Second thing is you get more uh, benefit from your body heat because your underleg is giving a little bit warmth to your upper leg. This is actually now a warm pillow for your head, and you have more benefits if you put your hand or your head beneath cheek. And it's a position where you not easily roll around. It's like first, like I said, for like first aid, you don't roll around. A lot of people sleep this way, especially in Asian countries. I have seen this. I have seen this a lot. So yeah, this actually no comfortable position, and even now you can still take a blanket, put it around you, and that is also a benefit because the blanket, if you do not have much blanket, you have less of your body that needs to be covered or put around you. So that's another benefit of it. So yeah, I would call this the stable side position. So yeah, and you would think that your arm will get away, but because your head is resting on the head, it will keep it in place. Another benefit is a lot of people don't like when they lie on their side that their ear would be onto their body because it pushes it in. Because you have this angle, there is now place between the two arms where your ear could be put between. Another benefit of this is because this ear is now free between this angle and this angle is open from this side, you can hear better in the night. So if there is danger or something is approaching you, you have more chance that you will hear it. So yeah, that is one of my favorite positions to sleeping. I do this actually a lot, even in my own bed for some reason, because I always had a problem where the pillow is too soft or too hard. But on this way, it's never been a problem for me. So that's one of the positions you can sit lie in. Another position is I do not really know the name of this position, but it's just the same. You put your legs across, you turn your body a little bit, and you use your arms, if you can probably see, your arms flat on the ground, and you can just use your head. And because you are in an angle, you have mass that will keep your body into the same place, that you will not roll around over. Yeah, your both arms are covering the ground, but these, and because of your shoulders and your arms, you will not bend over, and you use the space between your thumbs. As you can see, this is now a space between. It's stable. I can rest my head on my fingers, my ears between my thumbs, which is a free space that my ear is not impaired. And the same thing goes along. There is less body hitting the surface. Yeah, both of your arms perhaps, but if you have something like a shamak, you can put these under your arms to keep them more warm. And yeah, it's also a stable position. It's comfortable, at least in my opinion. And yeah, that's another way you can handy sleep. Um, there was another position. Um, yeah, that is a position that they use in the army, and that is more position where you have to be alert. So what they do is they put their arms like this, but they put it in front of somewhere that they have to keep an eye on, but they want to sleep. So if you hear something, you can directly look at an end. This is perhaps handy during a bug out scenario where you're in a building, you're going to sleep, but you have to keep an eye on the entrance in case somebody gets in, or you hear something and you can just open your eyes and directly look at the danger instead of lying down and put your hands up. And it also creates less movement. So if you're sleeping in an open field or in a situation where there's less light, your sudden movement could alert or be noticed by an aggressor, perhaps a person who has bad intentions, or you don't know, you just don't want a sudden movement be seen by somebody else. Like I said, put your arms in front of you, this arm here, and rest your head like this. I can still see most of my surroundings from here to there by just keeping my head like this. My ear is between It's here between my arms, so it's still open from this side. It does not push into my ear, and I can just open my eyes and I can see everything when I'm sleeping. So when there is danger, I can just open my eyes, see it without the sudden movement that somebody else can see, and just directly push up like I hear danger and I see the danger and I know I need to get out, and you're gone. So it's not just as it's an observation tool and also an evasion tool in a way. So that's another thing they can do. Another position that I've read about, I've seen one source about this, but so I want to ask if somebody knows about the Nepal chin position, if they know a link or some source that pointing towards it, because I'm a little bit skeptic about this technique, but there is a certain sense in it, because it's a technique where you just put your chins on the ground, you're just your forearms in front, you use your hands between your arms. It's just like a praying position, and the thing is, even when I relax all of my muscles, I cannot tilt over because most of my weight is being pushed in a straight, because my spine is straight. I don't have that feeling that I'm being pushed in an uncomfortable way, but I get pushed in front. My head is resting on the ground on a comfortable way, and the theory behind this position is that the ground was wet and there is less space because they were usually in mountainous areas, and the only place that gets affected by the cold are the chins, and the forearms, and a little bit of the hands, but they had gloves I saw in the picture or something. And yeah, that's the idea. There is less place where the cold could be, where the body heat could be pulled out. There is less place where your clothes could be get suck up moist from the ground, and it was one of those traditional kneeling positions. And you would say, how could anybody sleep in that? But if you try this for yourself in this position, you know, when you relax all your muscles, you cannot you cannot really tilt over. Your body is being pushed forward on a comfortable way, and yeah, I have not. I think there is potential in it, but it's something that you need to be accustomed to. It will take a long time, but there is a certain aspect of it that needs to be discovered. So I would say, if you know any sources to other people who sleep like this, please let me know. And another thing, one of the last positions is if you cannot sit, because I will put the camera like this, if you probably can see. Another position is if you cannot lay down, if you need to sit somewhere. This is something that I've used during bug outs where I want to take a power nap or sleep, and I have no place to lay down because the ground is too wet, too cold, or I'm in an urban area where I cannot just lay down. I I must give the appearance that I'm awake, but actually I'm asleep, so people wouldn't bother me. So yeah, or chase me away, because people chase somebody away when they see somebody laying down. In contrary to somebody just sitting down, they could think, oh, he's just listening to some music, or he's just taking a small nap. He's not here. He's not like, oh, how they say this, a hobo or something. So what you do is you take your, when you're leaning against something, could be a tree, could be a wall, whatever. You lean on sitting. You take your legs, spread them a little bit apart. This is especially handy when you have shoes, because your shoes will prevent your feet from sliding away. You put them in an angle so you have a little bit of a triangle. So when your muscles relax, you cannot just fall down because your body will be forced to go into this angle. You put your elbow inside of this angle between your belly and your legs, and now my elbow is locked in. And we use the same technique like in the first one. that your head is resting against your hand, and because my elbow is locked, and it is a straight bit, and my hand cannot just move away. As you can see, I can push, but it will remain in the same place because it's locked in. You can just use your head, lay down, let your head rest against it, and use this as a way to sleep while sitting. During a bug out, I would usually do this in my poncho when there is a lot of rain. I don't want to. I don't know where there if there was no shelter. There was less shelter. I would sleep in my poncho like this, all sitting, power nap till the rain was a little bit less. So I would take advantage of the moment to take a little nap. So that's a way to do it, and it's actually kind of comfortable. And yet again, there's less body heat. It's only my butt and my feet, but my feet are insulated by my shoes. And under your butt, you can use a poncho, and you put something beneath. It's like paper, like a fold-up newspaper, shamak, or whatever that could prevent from your body heat being struck up. But there's less surface that can do that. So yeah, it's actually also a comfortable positions. Usually, if I would sleep like this in public, like I'm waiting for the train or something, I could use something hard like an empty soda can. Here, if I want to just to take a power nap, not a deep nap, keep it in my hands. And when I get too deep in the sleep, I would relax my hands, drop the can. It will make a lot of noise, and that way I'm not going to be in a too deep of a sleep to not notice anything around me. So that's a little trick. But yeah, these were all sleeping positions during survival situations where you only have your clothing or perhaps a blanket, emergency blanket, or a shamak with you. So yeah, do with that information what you want, but it's also not only for survival situations but also generally for your body. This is how people used to sleep on a natural way. This is how people slept in the prehistorical setting, a lot of medieval times, in the ancient times, in survival situations in the modern times. So this is these are natural sleeping positions. This is not a. It is also like I said in the beginning. I hear a lot of people complain about their mattresses, even though the mattresses are designed for sleeping. But why are so many people having bad sleep, back pain from sleeping on that? So the modern era is sometimes not adapted to our biological design needs in a way. So that's just something to think about, to try out, and hopefully it will not only help you in a survival situation, but also help you getting a better sleep in your daily, everyday, nighty-night situations. So I would say, leave me a link if you know a source about the Nepal's shin position. If you have any other ideas about sleeping positions that could be helpful during survival situations, please let me know. I'm always eager to learn. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and thank you for watching.